starting strong at your new job the right way. So you just landed a new job. First of all, congratulations. Or you're currently job hunting and you need some tips for when you finally resume. So you need to know how to make a great impression, what you should focus on, how to stand out without being that overbearing new person. You know what I'm talking about? So don't worry, in this video, I'll walk you through exactly what to do in your early days at a new job, specifically your first 90 days. So you know the mindset, the habits you need to imbibe, simple, practical tips that would help you thrive in your new role. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Princess Akari, and this channel is all about helping you become the best version of yourself. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So the very first thing I want to talk about today is intentional branding. So you just started a new job, yeah? This is your clean slate. This is your chance to intentionally define how people see you. So you can now decide to, you can now decide what you want to be known for, regardless of who you were at your previous job. So just think of this as your fresh start. So if there were things that you didn't like about your old workplace or areas where you wanted to improve, this is your chance to reset. Maybe at your other job you used to, people there used to downplay your efforts, or you were ready for more responsibility, but you were never really seen as that senior material, so you had to leave. So those experiences may have shaped how you see yourself today, but now it's time to change that. Yeah, this is an opportunity to change that. So you have to be intentional about how you show up. You have to be confident. You have to present yourself as the person that you want to be known for in this new company. So, depending on your goals, you can start forming impressions around punctuality, kindness, lightheartedness, excellence, efficiency, clear communication. I can go on and on and on, but the most of all, boundaries. So, you want to be known as someone who is reliable, excellent, proactive, kind, efficient, easy to work with, and so on. This is the time to create that impression, because the first impression you make in those early weeks, those are the things that will stick around throughout your time in that company. It's easier to build a strong impression from the start than, to start the job without anything. And then later you now try to rebrand when you realize that people have formed certain biases about you that you may not like. So for people that go into the office, that's physically into the office, this also includes the way you dress up and then the way you show up. So from day one, be very intentional. So think of yourself as, someone writing the first few pages of a book that everyone else will be reading for a while. First impressions actually matter, or early impressions matter. Also, don't rush to prove yourself. You don't need to know everything immediately. The real goal in your first few weeks is to learn the people, learn the culture, learn the industry, learn the written rules, the unwritten rules as well, the expectations, and then the priorities on the job. After you have drawn up plans on how to intentionally brand yourself in the new team, the next thing you need to do is set your foundation. So, this is a time to build structure that would help you excel in that job. So, the first things you need to do, or the first thing you need to do, is to set clear goals. Sometimes your manager would give you goals, sometimes you'll have to create them by yourself. Whichever way, either way, write down what success looks like in those first, those early days, those first 90 days. Do you need to deliver your first project? Do you need to build relationships with key stakeholders? Do you need to master certain tools? This helps you focus on the most important thing. Next, you need to create a simple plan. Focus is simple, very simple. So you break down your goal into clear phases, and this could be into like 30-day intervals or grouped by specific objectives and how long each will take to achieve. So use whatever structure works best for you, but make sure that your plan stays simple and actionable. If not, you'll be overwhelmed. And always include buffers to, account for unforeseen circumstances. Number three, set up systems. This will help you ensure that you're sticking to your plan. I've spoken about setting up systems in one of my videos. Please go and watch it to have an understanding on how to set up systems for yourself, or just like the full understanding of the GPS method, goal plan systems. Number four, document everything. So you need to keep a running note of what you do daily. If you want to do it weekly, that's fine. Just keep a note. Even meetings, yes, write it down. So I use my journal, that's pen and paper, and I also use Notion to write down what I'm doing every single day. So this helps you clearly see the effort and value you're contributing to your team and the company. It also makes appraisals or feedback sessions much more easier. You won't have to struggle to remember what you've done or risk leaving out important details since everything is already documented. It's a great way to stay grounded and track your progress over time. Number five, have a praise folder and also a constructive feedback folder. Everyone knows about the praise folder. Please have both. So the same way you document the things that you're doing every day, you also need to document, praises that you get, compliments that you get, and basically any form of positive feedback on your work. On the other hand, you should also document growth areas, things that your manager or colleagues have shared with you, things that you may not be, so great at. Areas for improvements, like that's just the general thing. So anytime someone praises you for your work, save it. Anytime you receive constructive feedback, save it as well, record it. For the compliments, it gives you some sort of moral boost if and when you need it, and it can also help in other areas depending on if you want to share it with others, that's publicly, or use it to apply for things. I know people who have used those kinds of positive feedback to apply for things like the UK Global Talent Visa, showing people that they've done great work. So for the constructive feedback, this goes without saying. You need to know where you need to improve and you need to document that. So documenting it serves as a point of reference that tells you the growth areas, and it also is like a form of reflection, it's like a point of reflection. Number six, understand the business. So, no matter your role in the company, you need to learn how your company makes money. You need to know what the company goals are and what metrics matter to them. So, this will shape how you prioritize your work. Number seven, find quick wins. Low hanging fruits. So you need to look for small, impactful problems that you can solve very early. It helps to build trust and credibility fast. So all these tips will help you set the right foundation. Now let's talk about people, because no matter how smart you are, a lot of times success at work is deeply relational. So you need to build relationships. So I'll just share a few things that you need to do that can help with, building relationships. The first thing is be approachable. So you don't need to be everyone's best friend. You don't need to be everyone's bestie, but you just try to be kind. Just do what you can to build relationships with people, genuine relationships with the right people, your manager, your team, relevant cross-functional team members. At least say hello to people when you see them and maybe wave. The next thing is stay out of drama. I believe that every workplace has some form of drama. So you try your best to stay out of drama as much as you can. So if you find yourself roped into drama, find a way to rope yourself out of that web. Anyway, the next thing is observe before speaking. When you join a new team, listen more, observe more. You can speak up, but make sure that what you are saying adds value. And it's not just you saying, something to tick the checkbox of your participation, like, yeah, I spoke up. You need to observe undertones as well, understand how decisions are made on the team and who influences those decisions. It would help you. Then the next thing is communicate clearly and respectfully. I mean, everyone should be like this, not just people joining the team early. So you need to send thoughtful and proactive messages when necessary. You need to follow up when needed and be known for your excellent communication. So you'll be surprised how rare this is. The next thing is show emotional intelligence. Learn how to work with your colleagues depending on who they are. You will need to adjust your approach, based on how people are. Then the next thing is seek feedback actively. Don't always wait for review cycles. You can reach out to your manager, reach out to your peers often, just to ask for feedback. Is there anything I could do better? just stuff like that. This signals that you have a growth mindset. So yeah, these tips will help you build your relationships at your new job. The final point for today is set your boundaries. So you need to set boundaries very early. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's the things that you set up at the beginning that goes on with you throughout your stay in the company. So if you now start setting boundaries up later, you might experience pushback, and that pushback may not be pleasant, and they may interpret it wrongly, maybe like, oh, you've become stubborn, or you've become hard to work with. So please don't overextend yourself just because you're new. You can be kind and collaborative without saying yes to everything. Boundaries are how people learn to respect your time. I know that you want to do a lot of things because you joined, but just try to set up boundaries anyway. The next thing is prioritize time management. So you learn how to block your calendar, you learn how to set your time to do focused work. Don't let meetings take over your entire week and then you've not really done any good work. I know that it's easier said than done, especially in specific roles, but try to be the person who can respectfully reach out to the meeting organizer to ask if there's another way, to handle the conversation, maybe through a quick chat or an email or a shared note. And when meetings are absolutely necessary, that they have to happen, it doesn't have to be for very long hours. So I'm telling you for free today that you can kindly negotiate the time for a meeting. For example, someone sets a meeting for 1 hour. You can suggest 20 to 30 minutes. A lot of times, shorter meetings forces everyone to focus on the most important points. And please, always have an agenda for a meeting. If there is no agenda, there is a high chance that, that meeting is going to be a waste of time. So you too, if you're trying to set up meetings, always have an agenda. The next is take care of yourself. I mean, starting a new job can be very overwhelming, mentally, physically. You just want to do well. Always create time to take care of yourself. Try and rest, try and reset as much as you can. So, I have a video where I talked about burnout and how to manage it and also prevent it. It might help you. So, please go and watch it if you haven't. I'll put it somewhere in this video. Somewhere. And I'll also include it in the description box. I made another video about stress relief tips, and I think that video will help you as well. So you can check it out. Yeah, so these tips will help you set boundaries. Anyway, with these few points of wine, I hope you are now armed with the right tips and ideas to start your new job the right way. You need to start strong, you need to stay strong, you need to show up, intentional, adaptable, dependable. They should know you for that. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I usually share practical career and self-development content that will help you grow and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to like my video, share it with your family and friends. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.